I'm Emily.
And I'm Kayla.
And we just want to talk movies.
And today we're going to talk about the hash-slinging slashers.
It's still spooky season, so we have a spooky-themed episode. And we are going to talk all about the slasher subgenre, which is my favorite subgenre of horror, if you couldn't tell.
It is one of the best. Probably one of the ones I've watched the most out of.
One of the most parodied subgenres ever. Because what most outsiders, or as we horror fans call them, normies, assume about slasher movies is if you've seen one, you've seen them all. And
False.
Every single one of them is the same.
Oh, false.
That could not be further from the truth. Once you dive into...
That's not the truth, Ellen.
That is not the truth, Ellen. Because once you really start to dive into all of these movies, you see how creative they can all get. Taking the same formula, but doing crazy stuff with it. whether it is different killers, or how they look, what their motivations are, their personality, or the weapon of choice used to slash victims.
Slash the slinging slashers.
The setting, the theme, which often ties into the different sorts of kills.
The characters.
Yes! The characters!
I don't know what happened to my voice.
Yeah. Anywho, before we get into all of that, we have much news. Many exciting newses.
Do you have news first?
I have one news.
Array.
My array. My news is that we finally got a trailer for Daisy Ridley's upcoming zombie horror movie.
Oh, hell yes.
We Bury the Dead. And oh my god. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about this movie because it came out like a year ago or more at some kind of Australian film festival that I forget what it was called. And I was like, is this ever going to come out? Maybe not. And as we all know, so many other things started happening in the movie world that I kind of just lost track of this one. And then one day I opened Instagram and, oh my god, what's this movie with Daisy? Oh, it's that one! And I was very excited. It looks very fun, very exciting. I remember reviews about it when it was coming out at the film festival, people saying it's like, as many zombie movies are, a character study, a study of society, as they like to do. But I am just so excited to see Daisy Ridley with an axe chopping down the living dead. I mean, that's all a girl wants, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sign me up.
Yes. So, come January or February, I get...
January horror.
One of those two amazing months, we will be seeing this film. We will be reviewing it. Assuming it comes out in a theater near us, which it better. Because if it doesn't, I will do things.
What's going to happen?
That will be my villain origin story. All right. Anyway, that's my news.
Oh, is it time for my news?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I mean, there's kind of Stranger Things news. Once again, I don't think it warrants a sting, but since we've last spoken, Stranger Things has been putting on weekly rewatches of the prior seasons, and we've got like these little compilation videos coming out each week of the cast reacting to scenes from the seasons, and it's just been such a trip down memory lane. I like hearing all of them talk about like really tiny behind the scenes details that they're just remembering in the moment that we've never heard before, so that's been really fun. And by the time this episode comes out, we'll be like maybe 5 weeks away from release date number 1. So
wow,
the time is coming nearer, and I'm approaching closer and closer to I don't know what I'm gonna do. But it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But anyway, on to the elephant in the room. You may have.
Who has a stylish leather outfit on.
Yes. If you are in the world of pop culture, you may have been attuned to the fact that New York Comic Con happened. For me, this weekend, but for you, probably like last weekend. I don't know. But anyway, the cast of Interview with the Vampire was there, and they did a panel, and they finally released the HD trailer, first extended look, that's what they're calling it, for season 3. And girls, it knocked me flat on my booty. This season looks insane. I don't even know where to start. They showed so much in such a tiny amount of time. The most important part, of course, is Lestat divorce court. I mean, what more can you ask for but litigation between husband and husband? We also have Ghost Claudia. We also have Magnus. Many clips of Magnus. We also have Armand officially. We got our first official look of Armand. Exactly like maybe half a second total footage of Armand in this teaser.
That's all I need. That's more than I need.
It's enough of him lurking in the background that you know that the gremlin is here. We have, well, of course we have Lestat doing many unhinged things. He's on stage levitating. He's on stage having a mental breakdown. He's off stage having a mental breakdown. He's covered in blood. He's like showering in blood. I don't know what the context for this is. We have Louis also covered in blood. He is having an encounter with Bruce, who, well, I guess his real name is Kayla from the books, and also slightly from the show. If you've read the books, you know more about who this character is, but also in the show he's like evil and kidnapped Claudia for a while, so it looks like Louis getting revenge, and we all know that Louis getting revenge is something that we love to feast our eyes upon. So I'm so ready for this.
I've been waiting for that since season 1.
Yes.
I'm like, we're not gonna get this guy? Come on now.
I know, I knew, because that is not something, like they just made that up out of thin air, and I was like, there has to be a reason for this, because it's always kind of irked me, but I've always been like, maybe it'll come back somehow. So I think that it is, and so I'm excited for that. And what else have we? Well, we've had Jacob Anderson has said that his Louis storyline is very unhinged, and he said it's very disturbing. So I assume he's referring to that, and I'm excited for it. We have Gabriella. We have our first. This is what's so exciting for me, because I have only been a part of this fandom for a year, but I'm already like, these are characters that have never been on film before, on screen before, and it's been such a long time coming that they need to be on screen. But characters like Magnus and Gabriella are going to be so incredible to finally see on screen, especially because it's going to explain so much about why Lestat is so unhinged. So I'm excited to see that. And yeah, there's much more to talk about, but like I can't go over it all. But just know that it's shaping up to be quite it's just crazy season. So I count me excited. Butter my biscuit.
Oh god. Oh god.
The fits. I haven't even gone over all the fits. There's
I need to take a breath.
I can't even do it. We have Le Pigtails. I've called this look Le Pigtails. It's Lestat in pigtails, and also like a full makeup, like almost drag look. I'm so excited. You can't do this to me.
We've seen him in drag a couple times now.
Yes.
But this is gonna be something else.
And oh my god, we got Nikki too. I didn't even mention Nikki. We got many glimpses of Nikki. Nikki with one of his hands chopped off, smearing blood all over a mirror.
Hopefully on Armand's mirror.
It looked like it was in modern times, so I feel like it's going to be one of those like hallucinations that Lestat is having, which I think they're going to do a lot of. But they are also doing full flashbacks. We got human Lestat. We have baby Lestat, first of all. Little Lestat. We have
Little Lestat.
We have human Lestat supposedly going off on his journey to kill the wolves. We have him with a gun on a horse, and we see his little mastiff dog running behind him. R.I.P. But
R.I.P.
So I'm really excited for that. Just so much going on. There's so much to look forward to, and I think it's coming out in April. It hasn't been confirmed, but a few of the writers and Jacob Anderson have referred to it coming out in April. So I think that's at least what they're aiming towards. There is some behind the scenes possible drama that they're way behind schedule, so it could come out a little bit later, but I think that they're still aiming for April. So I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
I danced around Emily's room.
Almost fell on my carpet.
And then I showed her. And I think we're going to watch it on the big TV in the living room today because I need to see it on the big screen rather than just on my phone.
Just so you guys are aware, we are going to watch the teaser in surround sound.
Yes. But the other piece of news that I forgot to mention is that we got a casting announcement for Akasha, which is crazy. And I forgot her name, so I'm going to look it up really fast. Oh, gosh. Sheila Ateem. That's who is playing Akasha. She was in The Woman King. She had kind of a smaller part. She was not really, but she was really good in that.
Who was she?
She was really tall. She's the tall one who she wasn't like a big part, but she was just there.
She was just hanging around.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I really want to watch The Woman King.
I have to watch that again.
Yeah. To see her. She looks very regal and just incredible. So I can see her in this role for sure. And I
can't wait to see her in the role, if you know what I mean.
Her and Sam Reed actually played like adopted siblings in a musical, like a Bob Dylan musical. It's kind of a crazy musical, but so that's kind of fun that their dynamic will definitely be different than adopted siblings in the show. But
speaking of casting announcements of people playing siblings.
Oh, Emily, your news. Sorry, we have so much news.
Shit, I don't know the guy's name. Hold on.
Already.
The guy, I don't know if I could pronounce his name.
Oh.
Hold on.
Ruard Malika.
Yeah, so this person that Kayla just said is officially confirmed to be playing Tommy Maximoff, aka Speed.
Speed is his name?
Dumb
That's
name.
Bad name.
You know it sucks when your brother's name is Wiccan, which is like a badass superhero name, and then your name is just Speed because you're fast.
After drugs / the iconic Keanu Reeves movie Speed.
Your name's just after what your power is.
Yeah, that's
Speed.
Imagine your name is Flight, Invisibility,
Strength.
But
what's funny is that this guy is currently on West End. Yes, West End, in the play Clarkston, starring alongside Joe Locke, aka Wiccan. They're not like they're just friends in the play, but they have like a little maybe romantic moment somewhere in the middle, I think.
Okay.
Which is interesting because now they're gonna be playing brothers.
Listen, it happens. Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort.
Yeah. But you know, we love to see it. I am very excited because I think that this most likely means that either Wiccan is going to be in Vision Quest or is at least going to be
mentioned.
Yes, and going to be like entangled in his storyline. However it goes, I just want to see Joe Locke again, so do whatever you please, and really just please put him in it.
Yeah, hopefully this Vision Quest will try to, even if he's not in it, try to set up them meeting each other. Yes. Something like that.
Something. Give me something.
That'll be fun. This and Spider-Man are the only plot lines that I'm still interested in Marvel. Thunderbolts was okay. But other than that.
So that was our news. Much news. Very exciting. But now we are going to get into the topic at hand, which is slasher movies. So how this is going to go is basically just going to talk about the subgenre, its roots, the history, how it progressed through time. And then I will give a quick top 10 list of my own of some of my favorite slasher movies.
Unfortunately, I did not have a lot of time to prepare for this episode, so I'm mostly going off of Emily's lead.
she'll react to my list and be like,
how shall we begin?
Well, let's just talk about how the slasher progressed through movie history.
Well, I did some brief research on Wikipedia, and it says that the slasher genre has been around since the silent era, technically. There were horror plays. There was a novel purchased. There was a novel published in 1908 called The Circular Staircase, written by a woman, may I add, that was adapted into a silent film called The Bat, and it's about guests in a remote mansion who get attacked by a killer in a mask. And it inspired many other silent films, such as and and I also wanted to say Agatha Christie, even a lot of her books are slasher-esque, and Then There Were None is very much like, it's about one by one they get killed by a mystery killer. So it's been around since the beginning. Even ancient Rome, we love the violence, and it's only developed from there.
Yes, very true. We love to watch violence on screen. We love to see all the crazy, nasty, gory stuff. And that's just human nature, I think, for the most part. Because, like you said, that's what the Romans did back in the day. We want to go and see people get messed up, like bad. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much since the beginning of storytelling, there were slasher stories. And it does, it depends on what you classify as a slasher. Mm-hmm. Because, like we were saying, in the silent film era, and then with things like Agatha Christie, there's always been the idea of, people gather together in this weird place, and then all of a sudden they get picked off one by one. For whatever reason, people don't, when they think of And Then There Were None, or any of those type of stories, they're not like, well, that's not a slasher, that's like a mystery. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of weird. A lot of the times it has to do also with the type of weapon used, because,
and also the violence shown.
Yes.
I don't remember, I haven't seen the film adaptation of And Then There Were None, but I don't remember it being particularly violent in the way that we consider slashers
not
be
at all
today. But of course it was also a different time, so it wears different costumes, literally.
Yes. But the premise for a lot of slasher films is a masked killer, mm-hmm. or a killer that at least the audience doesn't see, going around and killing people one by one, usually with some kind of sharp or blunt object, never a gun, because no one wants to see that.
Boring. We see it all the time.
Anyway. Yeah. And it's usually for revenge purposes to some degree. Mm-hmm. Classic, that's a classic mystery tale of oh my god, who's this killer going around? He wants revenge for something. Killing people off one by one. But yeah, for some reason, somewhere along the line, it became specific to the horror genre and more about showing, for one thing, sex and nudity and just, what do you call promiscuity?
Yeah. Promiscuity.
Just an air about it that was just inherently sexual. Mm-hmm. And then showing intense, bloody on-screen violence. And a lot of the times filmed from the point of view of the killer during the kill scenes. Mm-hmm. This kind of officially started in 1960 with two films, Peeping Tom and Psycho. Mm-hmm. And these films, I think, are what people specifically look back to when they think the start of slashers, because it's about the sort of on-screen violence. It's weird to say on-screen violence now, because you look back at them and you're like,
they're not. But like violence? I said, it's a different time.
Yeah. And of course, the biggest thing is the sexual undertones, mm-hmm. of both the movies. And they were very much marketed as horror films as well. So people were like, okay, well, this is like a horror thing, mixing sex and violence in that way. And also, specifically, having the grandiose kill scenes, at least, involve women. Naked women, or scantily clad women.
Nearly naked women.
And having the final girl, as we now know her, or just the last man standing at the time, be a woman. This wasn't, back then it wasn't like it is now, with her like literally fighting her way out, but it's usually just because like, oh, okay, here's the last person, it's a woman, she figures out something weird's going on and manages to escape at the last minute. And yeah, from there it kind of went, you had a lot of copycats who were trying to copy Psycho in particular. Peeping Tom, it didn't do too well, I don't think, to say the least. Because it was a British film, and in Britain they're not, at least at the time, they were not too eager about movies like this.
Yeah.
You had the video nasties eventually, and this was something that like people just found the time, like basically just the D level of films. Like, oh, it's like trashy, it's gross, it's we don't like those type of movies. And then you have Psycho, which is directed by a revered director, Alfred Hitchcock. So everyone's like, oh, what's this? We gotta go see. And then, of course, we all know with like the marketing campaign where any trailer for the movie is just Alfred Hitchcock walking around the motel and being like, oh, what happened in this room? Well, we can't talk about it. It's too gruesome. You'll have to see. And so people are like, whoa, what's going on? And then, of course, him asking theaters to not let people into the theater once the movie started. And then asking anyone who saw it to not speak of it to anyone who didn't see it, because he didn't want the ending to be revealed. Nowadays, you could not do that. It would not be possible. But back in the day, people listened, and they did that.
Yeah, and I don't think you'd lose a lot of money if you made it so you don't let people in after it starts.
Oh, yeah. But that made, back in the day, it made people, and the theaters didn't have to do that. They'd been like, no. But they were like, okay. And it made people like, whoa, what happens in this movie? We don't really know anything about it. We know it stars some like, pretty popular people at the time.
Yeah.
One, of course, being Anthony Perkins, who in the 50s was like a teen heartthrob. So people were like, huh, what's this gonna all be about? And yes, when you get to the famous shower scene in the movie, I think people got quite the shock of what they saw on screen. Because like in mainstream like this, you did not see anything like that on the screen.
Did they, what were the trailers like? Did they make it seem like a horror movie, or did they kind of cover that?
He had done like horror, more thriller, but like sort of leaning towards horror. So people knew that it was going to be like something crazy and something a bit darker, but they just like didn't know what. It's kind of like what they did with Malignant in a way, which came out recently. It was like, obviously this is a horror film and something crazy is gonna happen, but they just didn't show much. So you're like,
and
what's
Barbarian
going
too?
On? Yes,
is a good example. It's kind of like showing you a movie but not showing you the real movie.
Yeah, very much like that. So yeah, after that you had a lot of copycats like Straight Jacket, Berserk, movies about a crazy person like trying to copy Norman Bates, where it's like they have the split personality, and that's how they try to get like the twist at the end, like it was this person the whole time. And I
also feel like something that Psycho does that I like is how you think that Marion is gonna be or is her name Marion or Miriam? Marion. You think that she's going to be the main character, and I feel like this also comes from, if you've watched more modern slashers, because the girl that you start with is always the final girl. When you watch Psycho, you expect that to be the case, but then she's the first kill, and then you're like, wait, who are we following now?
Yep, it's only you're left with Norman Bates.
Yep.
And you're like, well.
And I don't think when I first watched it, I hadn't a clue, and I was kind of sad that he was the killer.
I know.
I liked him.
Yeah, and that was brilliant casting as well, because people were like, it obviously can't be him. Mm-hmm. First of all, because we saw the silhouette was a woman. We hear about this crazy mother. Obviously, it's this mother, and he's like under her command and trying to cover up for her. And it's like, yes, that is true, but in a way you don't expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that was a huge success. You had a lot, funny enough, in Britain, you had the Hammer Film Studios who did a lot of, not similar, kind of similar, but like the mystery killer movies. Mm-hmm. A bunch of those came out all of a sudden, which is funny because of Peeping Tom's failure in Britain. And then you have a movie like Dementia 13, which was a big one. I think this was like 63, yeah. And it's about these people, I think they're in like some kind of mansion or I don't know, some rich people thing. And then there's a killer going around chopping people up with an axe. And you see a lot of on-screen violence. It's like goofy now, but I remember when I first watched it, I'm like, wow, they showed this in 63. It's a Francis Ford Coppola film as well, which is like, wow. It's very like B-movie kind of filming. You know, you got the rubber heads rolling down the hill and everything. So things quickly got way more intense violence-wise after Psycho in film, because it was so successful. And as much as people like, this is horrifying, we can't see this, everyone wants to see it. So they kept going with it, obviously. And so after that, you get into the 70s, which is a lot of like kind of more crime slasher movies, where it's like like the giallo films in Italian filmmaking, which is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like kind of grimier and like usually more about a detective story. Like there's a serial killer and we gotta hunt for him, killing naked women as always, of course. And the thing about giallo films was it's always like a razor is the weapon of choice. Right. With the black gloves that the killer wears. So you get movies like Torso, which is one of my favorites, Hands of the Ripper, the famous one, A Bay of Blood, which famously has the shish kebab spear in the bed that Friday the 13th ended up copying. But yeah, lots of just shocking kills, I guess, is what it's meant to be. The bright red paint, blood splatters everywhere. You also have, in like late 60s and early 70s, Herschel Gordon Lewis, who famously has, I don't know if he like started it technically, but definitely popularized the splatter film, which I'm happy to say is coming back recently in horror. But these are just like way over the top, ridiculous kills where you got people rubber limbs and tongues and just buckets and buckets of blood flying everywhere. Usually women, mostly women. And they were very popular in like the drive-in sphere. And you watch some of the movies, like there's Blood Feast, my favorite, 2000 Maniacs, Color Me Blood Red, The Wizard of Gore, just like insane violence that you think at the time you're like, wow, they were into this in the 60s and like early 70s. This is kind of crazy for now.
The children were always yearning for the blood.
Yeah. So those are super fun. And then you start to get like, I don't know why this started, but all of a sudden you get these Christmas themed early slasher films. With, I think one's called Home for the Holidays. You get All Through the House, which is the bit from Tales of the Crypt with the killer Santa Claus, Silent Night, Bloody Night, and then 1974, we get the classic first, well, I don't know first, but Black Christmas, which is like the pinnacle Christmas horror movie. And to people who say that Halloween started the formula
holiday
for slashers, you watch this movie and it's like, no, this movie did it first.
It's odd. I guess it didn't blow up as much as Halloween.
No, not even close. But I mean, it did pretty well. I mean, I don't think it was a complete, like, Peeping Tom level failure. But yeah, I mean, you think sorority house, bunch of young women, they get like the obscene phone calls. It's this very, very sexual undertone throughout the whole film. And of course, we have a final girl who fights her way out at the end.
I mean, yeah, it's no wonder that in the 70s that formula really blew up because of the sexual revolution and all of that. Like, it changed the way that all of the context of the slasher film.
Yep. And you have the main character, Jess, in that she has just found out she's pregnant, and she talks about she wants to get an abortion. Mm-hmm. Which was not something talked about in
When was
film.
Roe v. Wade a thing? When did it get...
Oh, gosh.
I think it was the 70s.
Yeah, it was the 70s. I forget which year. And whatever year it was, they talked about it on the sitcom. That was a famous thing.
They talked about it on what sitcom?
There was a sitcom, oh god, I don't know what it's called. But it was a huge...
1973.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and of course, so and it's looked at sympathetically. She's the main character, and you're very much rooting for her, and very much rooting against her boyfriend, who
wants to keep the baby.
Yeah, and very controlling of her. You see that she, like, doesn't want to be with him anymore, and she wants to get an abortion so that she doesn't have to be,
control. Yeah.
And then he's very much made out to be the red herring of this guy's probably the killer. So very, very interesting.
Lots of things were going on in the 70s.
Yes. And then, of course, you get the same year the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which... Oh my god, people were like, you cannot show stuff like this on screen. This is way too far.
And looking back now, it's really not that bad.
You don't really see anything.
I think everything that's implied is really bad, obviously because it's a chainsaw and like he's doing crazy stuff with the bodies. And like we've said, sometimes what you imply is worse because everyone makes it up in their brains, and when it's been a few months since you've seen it, you remember the parts that you made up in your brain.
And just hearing sounds, also, that movie with sound is brilliant. I remember, everyone thinks the moment where he hangs her up on the meat hook, they're like, yeah, you see it go in to her back, but you don't. Everyone's like,
I see it in my mind's eye, that's for sure.
And then, of course, the famous scene in the woods where he gets Franklin in his wheelchair with the chainsaw, and all you hear is just the saw going and him screaming, and you see like some maybe bits of blood, but it's
I can picture it in my brain though.
Yeah,
right now.
The sound is just amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, people, and I think that is another perfect example of just the title alone. People were like, "Oh, you can't make a movie like that."
And didn't a lot of people think it was real for a long time?
Yeah.
Sorry, Texas.
Yeah, people don't want to go to Texas. So that was a revolutionary.
And they were the main characters in that movie were like very much hippie culture.
Yep.
In the van, stoners. Weren't they going to like a music festival or something?
Something like that. They're very modern teens at the time.
Yeah.
Which is a theme in slashers. Continues to be. But that kind of... It set yet another cultural reset, as we say, for showing the types of things you show on screen. Or the types of subject matter. And, of course, it being based on Ed Gein, the real serial killer, is a whole new level of like, oh, God, some of this really happened. So after that, obviously, finally, see how long it took us to get here, you guys. Note that. But in 1978, we get John Carpenter's Halloween. And this movie, though Black Christmas, I will stand by that Black Christmas did it first. This movie, for whatever reason, was the one that popped off instead.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it being Halloween instead of Christmas.
Was
maybe.
John Carpenter a big director at the time, or was this one of his first?
This was one of his first. I mean, it was an independent film, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he had done stuff, but I think this is what really shot him up. And it's a brilliant film. It shows what you can do with very limited money. Mm-hmm. And again, not really showing anything. It's really just, you get shots of this random person in a mask just following people around all day.
I feel like this is probably the most iconic slasher look, I would argue.
Yeah. And this started the theme of a killer in a mask specifically.
Yeah.
Because
would you say that Texas Chainsaw Massacre did, though?
Not in the way that this did. You know, in the suburban area, just a crazy guy in a mask. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's the whole family, is a little different.
Yeah, he's not really the
only...
He's
kind of like the lapdog in a way. Uh-huh. And I don't think, we all know, like, the image of a killer in specifically a mask from, like, the Halloween store. Just, like, a random mask, not specifically the mask made of human skin that Leatherface wears, but holding a knife and chasing girls through suburban wherever. So this was, and because Black Christmas, you don't see the killer the whole movie. We don't know what he's wearing, what he looks like. We know his voice, and that's it. And this started the silent killer. He says nothing.
That's
you
true.
hear nothing. You hear his breathing, and that's it. Even Leatherface, makes some crazy screaming noises when he's running around.
He vocalizes.
Yeah, and you don't really, you don't see a killer, at least for a while, you didn't see a killer like Leatherface, just even the way he moves, like run around going crazy, dancing with his weapon. Yeah. It's usually more the Michael Myers, where they're just silent. They don't run.
Leatherface
they just walk.
Is kind of, he's in his own realm. World. He's almost like the intermediary point between the final evolution that we have now and what it used to be.
He's very much more like Art the Clown.
That's true. Now we're going back to that.
Yeah.
And Art the Clown does not speak.
Yes, but he very much is more waving around, going crazy. Will run after you, won't walk, which is terrifying.
Terrifier.
Yes. So this is obviously like what started the slasher as we know it today. Mm-hmm. The boom happened right after this.
Yes.
And it's funny, I heard that, I don't know if it was Bob Clark, the person who directed Black Christmas, who was saying that, it might have been the writer, I don't know. Someone was saying that they wanted to make a sequel to Black Christmas that took place on Halloween about someone escaping a mental asylum and going after people. And you're like, well, that sounds like something familiar.
Did they mention it in an interview before this movie came out?
I can't remember. It was so long ago I heard that. I don't even know how accurate it is, but...
That is suspicious.
It's very interesting to hear. And so obviously this started the idea of the setting for slashers. Usually we see it in a suburban area or in a college, somewhere that's familiar to everyone, where we all might be.
Yeah.
So after that, you had, between like 1978 and 1980, you had just copycat after copycat. Yeah. People weren't really interested in being like, quite yet, what the new, how can we take this in our own? They're like, let's just make Halloween and it'll be really successful.
Everyone will see it.
Yeah, you get like the Toolbox Murders was one. Oh gosh, what else? You had weird ones like Driller Killer which is only popular because of its name and the poster of like the guy with the drill through his head on the cover. Which got it, that poster alone got it into the video nasties. They didn't even watch the movie, I don't think. Are you in the house alone?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Don't answer the phone is one. He knows you're alone, which I've talked about. So you had a ton of those type slashers that were just trying to kind of not copy like Halloween shot for shot necessarily, but definitely the tone and the idea and the trying to have those kind of subtle kills. And then in 1980 you get the first Friday the 13th,
which did kind of reinvent and also follow the wheel.
yes it very much was like, okay, we're gonna take Halloween
elements and Psycho because of the motivation of the killer.
Yep. And we're gonna put a whole new twist on it, and it's gonna be all about the kills.
Yes.
Rather than just the look of the killer and
the suspense.
Yeah, the suspense. We want to show some special effects and bring that into the mix. And as we all know, that is now a staple in the subgenre.
Camp slashers.
Yes, and it taking place at a summer camp is huge. Huge.
So many camp slasher films have been made.
Yes. To varying degrees of
success.
Yeah. And this was one that I think they had, like, they didn't even write a script or have any kind of plan. They made like a mock-up poster, put Friday the 13th on it, and like I think they showed like the broken glass, and they may have put like a little what do you call it? Not a subtitle, but a tagline.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're just gonna put this in the paper and see if people would be interested in it. And so they got a lot of interest, like, okay, let's make a movie about it now.
Wow, that's crazy.
They did not have a movie plan. They're just like, would anyone be interested if this were a real thing? And then there was interest, like, okay, let's do it.
Guess we'll actually make it.
And they did, and it was crazy successful. So you know what?
How many freaking sequels does Friday the 13th have? I mean, Halloween does too.
Friday the 13th has 11 sequels, I believe.
Halloween has like 13, 14.
I think. I forget now that there's all the new ones. I used to know.
But anyway, these two are probably, are they like the longest slasher franchises that we have?
Yes, slasher-wise, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And the first movie doesn't even have Jason. Except at the very end.
That's the crazy part, is you do not see the mask. The icon. This one doesn't have an iconic mask.
Nope.
So that is something that I often forget.
A lot of people forget, especially people who are just like getting into the franchise and like, all right, let's watch the first Friday the 13th. And they're like, where's Jason?
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't trying to be shot for shot Halloween. It didn't take that one of the most crucial elements of the killer in a mask.
Yep. And you still, of course, get the final girl, who's the final boss that the killer fails to overcome.
I actually, this movie has grown on me because I did expect to see Jason the first time I saw it, but I do think it's cool that we have a lady horror icon.
Yes.
She is the origin of Friday the 13th, Mrs. Voorhees.
Yep.
And she is an icon. She's actually very funny. And that sweater, that's pretty iconic. Like, I think of that fit all the time.
Yes. Yeah, it's a movie that does kind of suffer unfairly from
the sequels.
Yeah. People nowadays go into it and are like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
But I think it's a very effective and very fun movie. It is one of my favorites still of the franchise, just because I think it's the only one that felt like a real camp setting, first of all.
Yeah, that's true.
They actually did film at a summer camp, which I don't think most of the other ones did. So,
well, I really like in the sixth one that the kids actually arrive.
Yes, that is a nice touch. But yeah, so we got that, and then, oh my gosh, from there, I mean, you could go on and on.
Yeah.
We had the golden age
in
the 80s. Just endless. It felt like there's like at least 20 every year, you know?
Crazy.
Whether they went to theaters or were just direct to video, you know, all levels, whether they were big budget or micro budget. And it was because you could make these movies for a very, very, I mean, like all horror movies, you can make it for not a lot of money and turn back a gigantic profit because everyone wanted to see. All the filmmakers were trying to outdo each other with kills. You're like, well, look at what we can do in this movie.
Yeah. And it's a time of practical effects. And
yes.
Just how lovely.
80s synth music. Yes. It's great. And of course you have Jamie Lee Curtis, who was the final girl in Halloween, stayed a final girl in many movies until like, I don't know, 83 or something, when she started doing legit films.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
But she's in like Prom Night and Terror Train, which are both great. I love those.
Also, when would you say the trend of like the good girl becoming the final girl started? Because I feel like you see that in Texas Chainsaw, but I think it's more cemented once Halloween comes around.
Yeah. She's the one who did what she was supposed to.
Yeah.
Didn't go out and party.
She was the good babysitter.
Yes.
And then Friday the 13th. Well, actually, number 2.
I always argue that the good girl virginal trope, it really isn't as big as people think.
I think it is in Halloween and the first Friday the 13th. They followed that trope pretty well. But she doesn't do it. In Friday the 13th, does Alice do anything?
No, she just kind of is chilling.
Yeah.
She, just before she can take off her, I think it's her top for the strip Monopoly, I think the door blows open before she can do it.
Okay, yeah. But they're not, it's not like they're these like goody. I feel like Lori is the only one who like fully...
I mean, it's definitely a thing. It's common, but I feel like there's still a number of movies where that they either straight up have sex or like take off their clothes in some way.
I think it's just they are usually like, you know, they would still fall into like sort of patriarchal ideas of what a good woman is, because they're not snarky, they're not sassy, stuff like that. That didn't come until later.
Well, what's interesting is something that they usually all are is resourceful, especially in Friday the 13th. Like, they know, you know, they're kind of like tomboyish a little bit.
That's true. It's kind of like the not like other girls.
Yeah, a little
trope,
bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that goes on for quite a while, and then people start getting fatigued around like 83, 84. And they're like, all right, has it run its course? And then you get Nightmare on Elm Street, which, again, cultural reset.
This brought in the supernatural.
Yep.
No more mask either. I mean, everyone bought the Freddy mask at the Halloween store, but
and a killer who talks. A killer who
yes, very chatty killer.
Yes. And also a weapon that I don't think
you hadn't seen that really.
And an idea of not him coming after you at a college or in suburbia, but in your dreams, wherever you
can't
are.
even get away from him in your sleep.
Wild. So that completely, then you had another boom from then until the end of the 80s, pretty much.
There's a Bollywood version.
Yes, they had Bollywood versions of a few of these. And then I think, I mean, there's so many like little subsets. Like you have the college specific ones that like Splatter University, Final Exam, The Dorm That Dripped Blood, all that good
These
stuff.
sound like Goosebumps titles.
Yeah, and they get goofy, you guys. Okay, Killer Workout. How about that one? We love Killer Workout. That's an iconic one.
When did Slumber Party Massacre come out?
That was 82?
I love Slumber Party Massacre.
Slumber Party Massacre is interesting because it is one of the only slasher movies. Maybe the only? Surely not. but one of the only slasher movies back in the day that was directed by a woman. And
I mean,
people always say that how slasher movies are so sexist and so obviously directed by men and blah blah blah.
male gaze.
This movie, I mean, it's the same as all the other ones pretty much, as far as, you know, showing the scantily clad women and blah blah blah. But the only thing that's, I think, a bit different, at least for me, is the camaraderie between the girls. Yeah, it's a little...
There isn't not like other girls in this movie.
I mean, you have the girl who, like, isn't invited to the slumber party. Or was she invited? And she just didn't go? I can't remember. But she's, like, our final girl. And I love... She hangs out with her little sister all night. And I love their relationship, too. And you don't get that a lot in movies. But I feel like maybe that was another thing. Just showing, like, female camaraderie.
It passes the Bechdel test.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, that one was pretty relatively big at the time. It got 2 sequels, so...
yeah, that's right.
Not a lot of movies got that. So I think that's interesting to note. How that's one of the only ones directed by a woman. And still is pretty comparable to all the other ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it shows... It's just... I think it was the time, you know? A lot of people were showing themselves and...
And also, there was a little bit of that turn to, more conservative ideas in the 80s, which I think you could either view it as it's kind of like a pushback up against that, or it is like following that, where like you have to stay chaste or you'll get or you will get chased.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It really could be interpreted either way.
I'm inclined to think it's the first because it's horror and they always subvert stuff like that, but I don't know. You could look at it the other way too.
I'm sure it depends on the filmmaker too.
Yeah.
And it depends on just yourself how you want to take it. But yeah, basically the end of the 80s, it was dying once again. A little bit of interest with like Child's Play and Hellraiser. But mostly it was they were going like direct to video for the most part. And then 90s, the early 90s were a weird time for slashers. You got some bizarre ones like Ice Cream Man and Dr. Giggles. I like Dr. Giggles. I think
we talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah, Dr. Giggles is a good one. I remember The Dentist was one. That one was okay. I don't know. But then the next big reset was Scream in 96.
And this one we're still dealing with the effects of Scream today.
Scream is an interesting one now because obviously at the time it was like amazing because no one had ever done this before.
Yeah.
And it's still an amazing movie and I love it.
For the first Horror Husbands, didn't Matthew Lillard just say, I was a part of the first gay marriage in horror?
Yes. It's weird because so, like, almost every slasher movie nowadays just tries to do Scream. Even if they're doing a legacy sequel to something else that isn't Scream, they're like, let's make it Scream.
I'm kind of like, there's nothing else we can do?
I mean, I can't even think of movies anymore where there aren't multiple killers. I'm like, the twist would be that there's only one killer nowadays.
Yeah.
So it is kind of... We need to stop with this, but at the time it was great.
Yeah. Scream is a great movie. The first 4, all bangers.
Love them.
3, I
like
tentatively call it a banger.
I like 3.
I would say overall, it's a great quadruplet.
A great quadruplet. Oh my god. And yeah, after that you kind of, I mean, and then Scream had its kind of sort of knockoffs, but not really, in my opinion. You have like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend.
I don't think
they're knockoffs. They're more following just the new, what the new thing was at the time. You know, getting away from like the Dr. Giggles of it all, where it was just getting like over the top goofy, and you had almost like Frankenstein monster-esque slasher villains in a way.
Oh my gosh.
You had more, the villains were the teens around you.
Yes.
Which wasn't, that was a
Yes.
thing in the 80s. Every now and then you get a movie where the killer was one of the kids.
I mean, you have Sleepaway Camp, which we didn't even speak of.
Yeah, Sleepaway Camp is a huge one. But most of the time it was just the masked boogeyman type killer. But then in the 90s, mid-90s to now, it's always
The Pier.
the Pierce.
The Pierce.
Yeah.
And sometimes the freaking main character from the original movie. Whatever.
Can it just be Ben Willis?
Yeah.
Or Ben's son?
What about Ben's son?
Ben's son! That line alone is better than anything in the Legacy sequel. I'm sorry.
True. And I was watching the Pretty Much It commentary on the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. And they made a good point of there were a lot of those like sarcastic, almost breaking the fourth wall jokes. And they were like, that's not what I Know What You Did Last Summer was. It was sincere. Even if it was goofy.
Yeah.
They took themselves
They
seriously.
were playing it so straight. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Listen.
And
I was sat.
You have to invoke the spirit of the original. If you're going to do a requel, that doesn't matter. you still have to invoke the spirit of the original. You can't. It's not Scream. Don't.
Oh.
What are you doing?
No, everything has to be Scream now.
And the double killers, like yeah.
Oh my god, there were 2 killers. Like, that's not a thing anymore.
I'm tired. I'm so tired. Imagine how tired we are.
So tired. I'm sleeping. So after, in the 2000s, obviously the remake boom happens, and that's for the most part, I guess, where slashers were. If there were any original slasher movies, they usually went direct to video. Yeah, and then there was just kind of a lull for a really long time.
The 2000s?
Like after the remake boom and everyone was over that.
Yeah.
You get like 2010s, which
I can't think of anything iconic from the 2010s.
no.
Sorority Row was good.
Yeah, I mean, remake boom.
Yeah, that's true.
I like a lot of the remakes, I'll be honest, but that's because I grew up in that time, so it's
Yeah,
nostalgic for me.
I don't know, but I don't know. If the remake of Friday the 13th came out today, I would like it. And I think the same with Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think I would have problems with
that one?
Yeah.
I don't think I would hate it as much as the ones that are coming out today.
No. But I would probably be with everyone else like, what? Why is he Chester the Molester? What are we doing?
It is kind of that one's kind of a weird one.
But that one, a lot is like just the feeling I get when I watch it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was the first one I watched.
Yeah.
I didn't watch, so I definitely probably have a warped view of it.
It's very nostalgic for us. Mm-hmm.
Now when I do look back, though, the way that the design is, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks goofy. Whereas the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it's so scary.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen the original.
Yeah. What was the other one? Oh, also with Rob Zombie's Halloween, I feel that way. Those are so nostalgic for me because I would watch like video essays on them before I even watched any of that stuff. So I was like, oh my god, what's this?
I do like the first one. The second one,
the second one's grown on me a lot.
I have only seen it like once all the way through, so I'll have to try it again. But the first one I think is good.
I think it's an interesting take, like Michael Myers being a more human, rather than the boogeyman.
But that's the thing with the remakes, is I don't really view them already on the same level as the originals. They're their own takes, like you said.
Yeah.
Whereas today, I feel like they try to tie themselves too close to the original by having bringing in the actors.
stuff.
Yeah. And so that doesn't work as much for me. So even if you're going to go way out there with it, at least go way out there with it.
Yeah.
No, don't try to be like, well, we're the better one.
Yeah.
And oh, look, we're continuing the story, and we're giving. It's like, shut up. Just make your own thing.
Yeah.
Make a remake. That's what it is. Is these days it's sequel. It's requels. It's a remake sequel. But I don't think I like that formula at all.
Me either. And I don't. It's weird because people back in the day were like, just make a sequel. Don't just redo the the original. Like, expand the story.
But I don't think they were redoing the originals.
I don't think so either.
Especially
of
the Rob Zombie Halloween. But even the Friday the 13th. Like, it had its own cool new story, like, plotline going on with the missing sister and him trying to make her his mother thing. Like, it kind of took ideas that were floating around the original ones, the old ones, and made it its own thing. Whereas I don't feel that way with, like, the new Scream movies. Definitely not the new I Know What You Did Last Summer.
New Halloween.
The new Halloween. I mean, I guess you could say that Halloween Ends tried to do its own thing.
To catastrophic failure. My God.
But again, like I'm saying...
Well, sequel... I mean, and
it's
that's...
still a sequel. It's still a requel. Or I guess it's a sequel, but...
Sequel to the requel.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Those movies give me a headache, so I don't want to talk about them.
And trash sequels are nothing new. I mean, you had Halloween 6 in 90 whatever, which was awful, if you ask me. I know some people, like, have looked at it in a new light recently, but I just don't see it. I think that movie's terrible. I can't stand it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's not... It's a thing. In franchises, you're gonna have the shitters, but I feel like there's just such a snobbery nowadays with it of like, we're so much freaking better than that old stupid one.
I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because like the politics of it, like they think that they're doing like a modernized, updated version of it for us, but
well, I mean, it reminds me of like the Snow White ordeal.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the attitude towards anything.
Here's the
older.
thing. Don't remake or make a sequel to something that you don't like. Because who's gonna go see the movie? People who like the freaking original movie.
Freaking ding-dongs. It's the Anyway, I could go on about that. But
that's one of my biggest pet peeves in film is people making a movie in a genre that they don't like or from a franchise that they don't like. I don't understand.
That they weren't involved in at all. It's one thing because I know people were saying like, well, no one gets mad at Harrison Ford when he talks bad about Star Wars or Robert Pattinson. They were in the thing.
Yeah.
They're allowed to say, I wasn't.
Yeah, that's different.
They're not some Joe Schmo came out of nowhere like, that one's trash. I'm gonna make a new one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make
That's the difference. It's not a man-woman thing at all. Oh. So don't try to make it into that, okay? You can't say... Okay, so imagine how much more people would hate Hayden Christensen if he came in and was like, the original Star Wars movies were so garbage. Ours are going to be way better.
Yeah.
That would be... Everyone would annihilate him even more, and I would condone it. But you know what? He's not that person. He's not that way.
He's not that way. He loves Star Wars.
Yes.
Every bit of it, inside and out.
He doesn't care if everyone hates him. He's like, you know what? I'm still here, bitch.
Yeah.
Guess what?
And everyone does love him. The important people love him.
Yeah. All the people who hate him, like, I don't know, are dead now or something. They died off.
They're silent. We don't want to hear from them.
But yeah, that's the thing that irritates me, I think.
Yeah, it's a big... And that's the thing is, you can't say that you... Because people are trying to and I understand the impulse to make like a modernized version of something that maybe had ideas that are outdated. Mm-hmm. That's great, but again, you shouldn't be doing it completely trashing everything that the original one stood for, and that's a thing that's tough with film criticism these days. Is everyone points to, oh well, it's just not for you because you're not a woman or you're not this and that, and it's
like, well, it wasn't made for you.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I can see that because there are of course reviews that come out that I watch and I'm like, okay, you just did not get it.
It's just garbage too.
But a lot of the times it's valid criticism, and I think people should be a little bit like more not hesitant, but like should think before they jump into that reasoning.
Yes. Especially when it's from an established franchise. It's one thing if it's completely your own new thing.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you're going off of something that has a fan base and a long history of a timeline, and I don't care if it is Scream or Halloween or anything you deem kind of silly and not important. It is important to the people who care about it and like it. And it doesn't matter if it's a low budget horror movie. It's popular and everyone knows what it is for a reason. We're not remaking Birth of a Nation where you're like, yeah, that old movie is horrible and every single ideal in it is trash and we need to get rid of it. No, the older movies, okay, maybe have some things that are a little outdated, but not the whole premise of it.
Yeah.
They talk about it
To
sometimes.
the point where you have to trash on the whole thing.
Yeah. But anyway.
Like the Final Girls, that movie, that one's fun because it's making fun of the old ones, but there's a love there.
Yes.
There's like referencing and Easter eggs, and I mean, you could say it's similar to Scream as a whole, but it's just
You get references to The Burning in that movie. How many mainstream people have seen The Burning or even know what it is?
That is a film that loves films, and specifically horror films. And
camp slasher.
that's how you should do it if you're gonna poke fun at the genre and like things that are common in the genre that are like, if you think about it, are silly. Because there is. No one is saying that there isn't.
Yeah. We say that all the time. But you know what? There's a charm that we like about it.
Yeah.
And if you're just gonna go and say the whole thing is awful, then why would I bother seeing your new crap or liking your new crap? I won't. But anyway, let's talk about things that are good, because recently we've had a rebirth in the slasher subgenre.
Well, yes.
With
Terrifier.
Yes. Filmmakers who actually care
And love horror.
like horror movies and love the old 70s, 80s style of just completely over the top, disgusting, weird violence, which is making such a comeback, and I love it, and it makes me want to cry.
I want to cry.
We also get a return of badass final girls who are badass because they're badass, not because the script says they have to be. But are actually fleshed out, amazing, awesome characters like Sienna, who is one of my favorite final girls now.
Yeah,
like, she's probably
great.
top 4, honestly. I love her so much. And yeah, just Terrifier. Amazing. Art the Clown, a new slasher icon, cemented already.
Yes.
No question. Some of the best, craziest, most entertaining kills ever put to screen. The kind of kills that you'd see in, like, the old splatter films, like I was talking about in the late 60s, where things were just so goofy, and what you're watching is horrifying, obviously, but the way it's done is so silly and over the top that you're just laughing and having a great time, along with the people filming it who are obviously also having a great time. I actually just saw this video of David Howard Thornton reacting to the bedroom kill.
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking about when he splits the arm down the middle. He said that he didn't think it was gonna go as far as it did. So he was like, it kept going, and he was like, and they only had one take. So he had to just keep going. He's like, Jesus Christ. Now I need to watch that again to see if I can see him freaking out. But yeah, everything's just silly and fun. And we've got the people freaking out, just like back in the day. The people like, oh my God, we cannot have this on screen. This is too far. We need to draw a line. It's amazing. It's like we're back in that time.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting to a point where people are having fun with being problematic again, in the sense that, like, in art can be problematic. And I love that. I'm having so much fun with that.
Yeah.
Terrifier really amazes me the more I think about it, like how they get away with what they get away with.
I mean, it's that classic escapism, I think, because we all know that things are not very great right now
Yeah.
in times. And so I think just watching someone like Art the Clown, a character who we all love and who the filmmakers obviously care about a lot, and just like this film that people had so much fun making, and it's a callback to these old movies that we love, and just like a fun time. We get a badass final girl at the end who's gonna just beat his ass into the ground.
Yes.
It's escapism. And people, I don't know, that's what it is for me. It's like seeing that kind of violence on screen. I love like performance-esque stuff. I don't know how to describe it really, but like you're watching a show.
Yeah.
Like a magic trick.
Yeah.
Someone's like, look
Well,
at...
you know it's not real, but...
Yeah, and it's clearly like...
Yeah.
They're not trying to make it look really realistic. They're trying to make it look cool and nasty and gross. But it's it's not made to horrify you exactly. It's made to show you a cool special effect, a cool trick.
Yeah.
Which is what I think a lot of splatter films do in general. It's just like...
I feel like a lot of the slasher films do that. Like we were talking about with Friday the 13th. That was that was part of their goal.
Yeah. And I think it's weird, but like it brings people together in a way, because we're all like...
Because you do all have a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah, we're like, oh no! But
it's like watching a live theater production where the blood splat, and there's a splash zone with the blood, like...
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's not like, what can I think of? Oh, it's not like The Long Walk.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yes.
The Long Walk is scarier than Terrifier.
Yes, that violence is meant to make you not feel good.
Yeah.
And meant to look real enough and feel familiar enough that's like, wow, this is obviously meant to reflect things that are going on in real life. Mm-hmm. And Terrifier and movies like it are definitely... you can see the difference just from that, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I feel like the people who claim that Terrifier goes too far are the people who haven't seen it, honestly.
Yeah, because I feel like I was there for a while. I didn't think that it shouldn't exist because it goes too far, but I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. But now that I've watched it, I think I get it more.
Yeah. It's definitely... It's a very specific audience, and that's intentional. You know, it's directed towards horror fans.
Yeah.
It's not for... If you're
General
looking for a
audiences.
gateway horror movie, it's probably not the best. But yeah, I think you just see the love for horror and filmmaking and that kind of... those special effects from back in the day, which I think is why it resonates so much with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And Art the Clown is just amazing. We all love him. We want to see him.
He's very entertaining. Are you not entertained?
Yeah. But we get stuff like Freaky, which I thought was very well done.
Yeah.
Those, again, those kills were like from the crazy 80s movies back in the day. We're like, what? He killed someone with a toilet lid? A tennis racket? What the heck? It's just random things. Mm-hmm. That are so gory and over the top. You're like, whoa, what? Or Thanksgiving is another one that goes back to that when the lady gets chopped in half with a trash can lid.
Yes.
That is such an 80s kill. It's like, wait, really what funny. Just happened? So we're definitely seeing a renaissance, in my opinion, and I'm very excited and very happy about it. And then I think the gore is just spilling over into other subgenres in general, like Smile 2. Which isn't technically a slasher, but definitely the uptick in gore in slasher movies has influenced.
Definitely.
Because there's a lot of gore in that one, and the first one really not that much.
Yeah. We just watched that again last night.
Oh, so God, it's good.
So good.
It's amazing.
That might be one of my favorite horror movies.
Honestly, it gets better every time I watch it. And I'm like, that's one of those movies where I'm like, it's not going to get the recognition it deserves, but it should be in the Oscars. I'm sorry. I said it. Naomi Scott
The Substance is another one that gore became popular. And
mainstream.
It got into
got into the Oscars. And little suspicious that Demi Moore won all of the awards except the Oscar.
Yeah.
Which I was a
sometimes
little like...
they do that. They do that sometimes.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I questioned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's interesting. And the fact that Emilia Perez won at the Golden Globes over it.
I do think something happened because of the backlash that Emilia Perez got. But I don't know. Something was going on behind the scenes at the Academy Awards.
I'm going to say that the Golden Globes people, that was proof that they didn't watch any of the movies.
Well, didn't a very similar thing happen with Crash?
Yeah.
I think it's moments like those that make it so clear who the people who are voting are, who the voting panel is made up of. And that's all I'll say.
That they're like, whoa. A movie about this hot topic?
Yeah.
Sure. We want to...
Either they didn't watch it or they did and they just don't have the ability to understand it or the care to understand it.
They like skip through it like I do when I don't really care about a movie and I'm like hitting the button.
But you wouldn't vote for it at the Oscars.
No, that's why I'm not there, honey, and they shouldn't be either.
Okay, but anyway.
Should we get... Is there anything else to say? I mean,
I think we've definitely pulled it into the modern times. You should go quickly over your list. We are at an hour and a half.
I know, I'm not going to go really in deep because we talked about most of these.
Okay.
And these are not in really a particular order. And I feel like this list could change like constantly.
That's true of any of my top 10s.
Yeah, this was really difficult to make. But my first and always favorite will be Sleepaway Camp, 1983. A camp slasher that kind of appeared that it was a knockoff of Friday the 13th at first, but
it's so much more.
Very much its own thing. I think it's special in that it actually has real teens in the cast, and again, they filmed at a real camp. That's why it feels natural. And just the low budgetness of it, I love. It feels like cozy. I don't know if that's weird to say.
Well, that's what... I know that it's not low budget, but I was going to say that about Smile too. It feels comforting. Some horror movies have that vibe.
That's true. Yeah, I think that Angela is a very underrated and spoken about killer. She's very interesting, just her background, and then of course what she becomes in the sequels. There's obviously a lot of hot topics surrounding.
We discussed.
Yeah. And it's hard to say, what the intent was at the time because I don't know the filmmakers personally, but to me it's always been a very pro-LGBT movie. That's just my interpretation. And again, we're hearing stirrings. Are they doing a sequel? Are they doing a remake? They've been talking about this for ages, and recently it's been brought up again that they're trying to get one done. I don't know what to say because the original person who made it, the director, also did Return to Sleepaway Camp, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know if I want him to do a new one. I think I'd rather be in the hands of someone else. We'll see. I don't know. Fair enough. And also, Ricky.
Love that. One of the greatest horror characters there ever was.
My second one is Nightmare on Elm Street. This was one of the first 80s slashers I ever saw. Not the first, I don't think, but one of the first. I was obsessed with it immediately. I watched it with my friends at a Halloween sleepover.
That's right.
I was digging it. I was loving it.
Everyone
else around me was like, what the hell is going on in this film? I'm like, I don't know, but I love it. Iconic kills. Not really like a huge body count kind of movie, but the kills that you do see are crazy and definitely stick with you. And Nancy, amazing final girl, one of my favorites. I love that she spends maybe like a tiny bit of time being like, oh no, I'm scared, what's gonna happen? And then most movie like, all right, I'm gonna kick this guy's ass and I just need to figure out how to do it. And I love that. I love all the traps she sets like she's Kevin McAllister. It's amazing. Freddy himself, legend, icon. I heard they're doing like Robert Englund was talking about like an animated series.
Oh my god.
I'd kind of be down, I think, if he's voicing Freddy. But yeah. So number 3, I decided to pick just one Friday the 13th movie because there's so many, and I mean that could make up like half the list itself. But I decided to just go with one. And today what happened to be the one I picked was Friday the 13th Part 2. I really, really like this movie a lot.
This one's good.
Yeah. I think, and as far as like just the classic slasher vibe, this is one of the ones that inhabits that the most. We have Baghead Jason, which is kind of a knockoff of The Town That Dreaded Sundown, but it still looks okay.
Yeah, this is another one that doesn't have the iconic mask. They don't get it till number 3.
Yep. But I think I like the kills in this one a lot. Like, I love the wheelchair guy kill. I love the shish kebab bed.
Yes.
There's a lot of good ones.
I like him bursting through the window in that one scene.
Yes. I really love Ginny, the final girl. In this. I think she's my favorite. I like Tina a lot too. Her and Tina, I think, are my favorite Friday the 13th final girls. Along with Tommy Jarvis, but you know.
Tommy Jarvis might be my favorite.
She's just like, I don't know. And Amy Steele, she was also in April Fool's Day, which she was really good in. She's just a really likable actress, and Ginny's a very charming character. She is one who has sex with her boyfriend in this movie and ends up living. Poor Paul, her boyfriend, we don't know what happened to him. People still don't know.
This day.
We haven't heard from him. But I love the fight she puts up. She's just relentless. And even to the point where it's not just a physical fight, but she decides to try some like reverse psychology.
Yes, she's crazy.
Yeah, we learned that she's like a psychology student or something and specializing in children, I think she said.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, and since Jason has the childlike mind, that allows her to kind of try a little tricky poo on him. That doesn't ultimately end up working, but it works for a second, which is really cool. Number 4, I have Halloween, the original,
classic,
1978. I mean, again, this is a movie that's really cozy.
Yeah.
It's Halloween time. You have to watch this movie every Halloween. Like, if you don't, something's wrong with you. The music, I think, is still some of the best music in film history, let alone horror movie history. The mask, this mask was the best by far. They still haven't topped it. I don't think they ever will.
We talk about that all the time. The first one, the mask looks good. Even the first of the new trilogy, the mask looks good. Actually, all of the new trilogy looks good.
Yeah.
But all of the other movies, it does not look good. And it's a shame.
Yeah. They have mask problems a lot. Because they try too hard. They try too hard. And
it was a what's called?
Captain Kirk
mask painted white.
Yep.
That's all you need. I bet they don't even sell those anymore.
But yeah, it's a perfect example of sometimes the most simple is the most effective. Mm-hmm. And the characters in this also really likable, really fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And Laurie, you know, I do prefer her in H2O because she's a badass in that. But she still is pretty resourceful in this. You know, she gets a knitting needle, stabs him in the face or the neck, and then she gets the wire hanger from the closet and stabs him. So she's still pretty resourceful in this. Number 5 is going to be on no one's list except mine because this is complete nostalgia, but it's Sorority Row from 2009, the remake. This was the very first slasher I ever saw in my life. Ever.
She was obsessed with it. When I was young, we had a sleepover one night, and she explained the entire plot of the movie to me.
Yep. I was excited that I had watched such a violent, crazy movie, first of all, and got through it without being traumatized. And this was one of those movies from the 2000s that had all the current hot stars in it. So I knew a lot of the people in it, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. But genuinely, I think it's a really good slasher film and remake, and it has very likable characters, very cool kills, a very unique weapon with the modified tire iron.
Yeah.
And of course, I love a college setting, a college slasher, and Brianna Evigan, love her.
Step up to the streets.
Yes. She is a great final girl. She's also in this movie called Burning Bright, where she has to survive a tiger.
That's a crazy movie.
In her home. She's badass in that as well. I love her. Love this movie. And coinciding with that, number 6 on my list is the original, The House on Sorority Row. This was the very first 80s slasher I ever saw. once again, it changed my world when I watched it. I'm like, I am so into this. I will say again, it's a very cozy movie. It's that low budget 80s goodness. The characters are all super entertaining and likable. The atmosphere is like really creepy. It's almost like, especially towards the end, this kind of trippy like fever dream. It's like, you know, as the people in the sorority house just dwindle until you're down to the last girl. And she knows there's this killer somewhere. It's like you're in one of those weird nightmares where you're like, whoa, I know something really bad's about to happen.
But I can't do anything.
Yeah. It's got pretty good kills. A unique weapon with the cane. With like, it's a cane with a little sharp, I don't know if it's a bird's tail or something on it that the killer whacks people with and stabs them. And I love that they put that cane in the remake for a second. Cassidy, the main character, like, picks it up and grabs it as she goes out to look for the kill. I'm like, oh, that's the cane! I was so excited. But yeah, this is a really underrated one. That's super fun, and I love it. I haven't seen it in a while. Number 7, I decided to pick a Terrifier movie. I had a hell of a time deciding between 2 and 3 because I love them both so much. But I did pick Terrifier 2 because that was the one that fully made me fall in love with this franchise. And of course, we're introduced to Sienna in this movie, and she's amazing, and she gets to wear the awesome warrior angel outfit that I still need to be for Halloween one year. I love her fight with Art at the end. It's just brutal and crazy, and she dies but still comes back to life to kick his ass. I'm like, this is amazing. And obviously the kills, what can you even say about the kills in this movie? The bedroom kill is forever going to go down in history as the most insane, probably like the longest kill scene that keeps its energy somehow throughout. The actress who's under all the makeup and prosthetics, like, somehow screaming as if all this stuff is happening to her. I don't know how she got to that place, but she did amazing. She absolutely deserved to be the one to pick up the chainsaw award for the best kill. And yeah, the other kills are great too. I love the one where he has his bat with all the tools in it, and he just obliterates that lady's entire chest cavity.
God.
Yes, and I love the Halloween time setting. I love the Christmas setting as well, but the Halloween atmosphere is just where Art belongs, I think. So it's another, like, you know, get you in the mood in the season type of movie. I love it, and I'm sad I didn't see it in theaters because I was very unsure about a 2-hour Terrifier movie, but it turns out it's actually pretty good. Also, the mom, Sienna's mom, that character, hilarious. Oh my god. She, like, does not care about her kids.
She's awful.
But she's freaking hilarious. Her line delivery is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
She's like, get out of my face. Okay, number 8 is a movie called Intruder from 1989, which is a slasher movie that takes place at a grocery store. Really random. I don't know how many people know about this movie, but the kills in this are amazing. So the kill that everyone talks about in Fear Street Part 1, where she gets her head in the bread slicer, doesn't even come close to Intruder, okay? You want grocery store kills that are absolutely
grocery store kills.
This movie is the place to go. I don't think there are any other slasher movies in a grocery store, but it's a really cool setting. It looks like a Costco a little bit, but it's at nighttime, so it's night crew there. There's just someone going around picking them off in these crazy ways.
That's fun.
It's really cool. I like it a lot.
I feel like that would be a fun episode of a TV show.
Number 9, the original Black Christmas. I love this movie so much. Olivia Hussey, amazing final girl. The killer is creepy. You only hear his voice. You never see him. And he's just creeping around the house killing these girls. And the best part, as we all know, is when the main character, Jess, is talking to the police and they tell her that the calls are coming from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize, oh, crap. Because she's staying in the house right now looking upstairs. And she's like, okay. You're like, yep. So this whole time, they're sitting here in this house at a cozy Christmas night. And there's just an absolute deranged psychopath sitting there in the attic above them. And that just creeped me the hell out. When I first watched it, I was like, oh.
That's one of my worst fears.
Yeah. And just super creepy moments of him, you know, her looking up and seeing his eye looking down through the crack in the door. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And then the ending, of course, where they leave her alone in the house because they're like, we got the killer, it's over. So she's sleeping there alone and you hear the phone ring again. You're like, stop. Just get out of the house, please. Yeah, that's an amazing one. Another cozy one. Perfect for the Christmas season. And my final one, number 10, I have The Slumber Party Massacre. It's great.
What a great movie.
It's a classic feminist piece, as we say.
Passes the Bechdel test.
Obviously, the driller killer in the movie. The drill being a symbol for something very obvious, especially the shot where it's between his legs and he holds it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a classic. Drill deaths are pretty fun. And it's that low budgetness that, again, feels cozy. I love the pizza guy death where they open the door and he's standing there with no eyes and he falls forward. How was he standing there before? I don't know. He was waiting for them to open the door. I really love the sequel as well. Sometimes I like the sequel more, actually, than this one. But today I like this one more. Yeah, so that's my list for now. My throat really hurts and
I'm exhausted. What have we been watching? Just horror movies. I mean, it's the spooky season.
Yeah.
We just, as we said, watched both Smile movies. We'll probably be watching more horror movies tonight. And it's just been lovely. I really want to watch The Conjuring 3. Three. So,
I finished Dead Boy Detectives. Oh. Finally. I'm really sad it's over. It's a real shame because I think it had so much potential. It wasn't a perfect show. I definitely had my issues with it. But I think it was one of those shows where with the second season they really could have ironed out all the issues and really just...
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no.
That's a thing that Netflix just doesn't allow for anymore.
Yeah. I think they just need to focus on Charles and Edwin a bit more. They kind of felt like side characters a bit in their own show, which was not great, but there was enough of it that was like, this is really good. They have something here that could keep going. And of course, the romance, we did not see to its conclusion, but in my mind, they end up together. I really, really loved, everyone's favorite is episode 7, and there's a reason for that, when Charles literally goes into hell to get Edwin back, and we see so much about what Edwin went through for decades in hell. And then, of course, it's when he gives his love confession to Charles. And I did realize, like, right at the end of his love confession, I'm like, Charles is not going to reciprocate, because all of a sudden, like, that would make sense story-wise, because we haven't been watching him go through that at all. We've been watching Edwin go through it. But Charles, it wouldn't make sense. So I realized that at the last second, I'm like, oh, he's not going to like him back. But the way it was done was perfect. Charles was just like, it didn't even upset him at all. He's just like, look, I love you so much, like more than anyone. I can't say I'm in love with you right now, but there's no one else I would go into hell for. I'm like, yes. Yes. And yes, in my mind, in the future, Charles realizes his feelings and that he reciprocates, and they end up together. Obviously, that's the only conclusion. But
it will never happen.
It happened in my mind. And I'm still where we left off, I feel like was really satisfying. They wrapped up everything that they started in the first season. There wasn't anything like, wait till next season to see the conclusion of this, which, thank God. there was obviously meant to be more, but it was still, it's its own little concise story. Sloppy story at times, like tonally kind of went all over the place. We focused on this girl Crystal like way too much. I thought she was like the main character in a show called Dead Boy Detectives, where they were literally her side characters, which I was like, eh. But there was so much fun to be had. I love Charles and Edwin to death. I cannot wait to read the graphic novels. And those are my quick thoughts.
All right. So, next episode, what are we gonna talk about? Black Phone 2.
Not the. They dropped the. Just
Just
Black Phone.
we'll see how that goes. I really like the first one. Emily was indifferent.
Yeah, it was so-so.
You've heard that the second one isn't supposed to be very good.
I'm hearing mixed things.
All right, well, we will come to you with the answers.
Yes,
our answers.
They're copying
our personal answers.
Speaking of slashers, they copied the famous scene from Curtains where the old lady with the sickle is skating on the ice going to the lady. I'm like, they took the same shot. What are they doing?
Well, maybe it's an homage.
Yeah, an homage to Curtains. That would be very odd.
They do seem to appreciate horror. These people. So
I'll say the trailer looks good. The trailer has intrigued me.
And that's what we'll be talking about. In the meantime,
follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at We Just Want to Talk Movies for our fun little posts and just to keep up on everything. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss an episode. And that's it for this episode.
And we will catch you on the flick side.
How long was
Vocal
that?
fry.